Hello, it's a great day. My name is Dana James, also known as the Freedom Fighter. I'm an author, a speaker, and a coach. And I'm here to share with you the topic, how not to stay stuck. Believe it or not, many of us are walking around stuck, not knowing why, not even realizing it. So let me tell you about my experience in a place called stuck. As a child, I was molested. And what I found was that what happened to me as a child, I carried into my adult life, in my relationships. So what happened to me as a 7-year-old being molested affected me as a wife in my 20s. I had the fear, that childhood fear that I had experienced during that situation. I carried that with me. I packed all of those things that happened to me as a child at 7 into a suitcase. I packed the fear into the suitcase. I packed the anger, the hatred, the pain. I packed it all into a little suitcase, zipped it up, put it on a shelf. And every time I moved in my life, I picked that suitcase up off the shelf and I'd carry it with me. And I'd go to my next destination and I'd put it on the shelf. I'd get involved in a relationship. I'd unzip that suitcase. Here comes the fear. Here comes the anxiety. Some of those things that I packed away, I'd pull out. And they went into the new relationship. And I packed that bag again, moved to the next relationship, put that bag on the shelf, and ultimately end up unpacking it again. So once I realized that I was holding on to those things that had happened to me in the past and that they were affecting my life today, in the future, I needed to come to terms with those things. So I went through some inner healing. I had to face the child, the 7-year-old in me, and tell her it's okay. It wasn't your fault. I had to forgive the person who molested me. I had to get rid of that anger, that hurt, the bitterness, the resentment, all of those things that I'd packed away in that suitcase neatly and carried around with me for years, well into my 30s. I had to start unpacking them, putting them in the shredder. Unpacking them, putting them in the shredder. As I confronted each one of those things that happened in my life, I shredded. The Bible tells us in Isaiah 43, verses 18 and 19, God declared that he has a new thing for us. But we can't hold on to the things that happened in the past, because the new thing is happening now. And if we're holding on to those things from the past, we'll never see the new thing happening. So after I came to terms with that 7-year-old and what she had gone through and the things that she was holding on to that were hindering her and blocking her her blessings and blocking her from prosperity in her relationships, blocking her with her relationship with her child, being able to open up, being able to hug, to show him physical love. That's a hindrance. That was a hindrance for me. Being able to verbally express, I love you. Didn't know how. So after all that shredding and unpacking and throwing the suitcase in the trash, I'm good. I no longer carry those things into the relationships that I have now. So I'm no longer stuck as that 7-year-old in a 52, 54-year-old body. I'm not. So I challenge you today to go back and figure out where you became stuck. Why you didn't go back to college. Why your relationships aren't working. Why you're stuck in a job doing something that you don't really like and don't really want to do. Why are you fearful? Why are you so angry? Why are you bitter? If you go back, you'll find that place called stuck that you were in, that you're still in. So I challenge you to go back, find that place, open up that suitcase, begin to unpack that bag for the last time. Put those things that have been holding you back in the shredder, one after the other, after the other, after the other, so that you can see the new thing that God is doing in front of you at this very moment. Once you do that, your eyes will be open. Your physical eye will be open. Your spiritual eye will be open. Your heart will be open to love again, to believe again, to laugh again, to trust again. So thank you for spending this time with me. And I pray that you all will no longer be in that place called stuck. Why? Because we're all champions. And God has something bigger and better in store for you. All you have to do is let go. I'm Dana James, the Freedom Fighter. I am a comeback champion, and today is my January 1st.